So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Virgo 2026 predictions. Yes, we're going in the most amazing chronological order. Okay, it's like a signature. It's like psh, pam. Okay, so yes, Scorpio, you're gonna have to wait. And remember, my marriage course is now active on my Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm not only going to be teaching you every single detail about marriage, but also techniques of timing of marriage. It's not just Jupiter looking at Venus or seventh house or even progression. These things greatly help, but there's a specific mathematical calculation. Part of it I've actually shown on my blank chart prediction course as one of the very last videos that you can check out. But there's more to it. So now, Virgo. Well, this is going to be, especially with Jupiter transiting in the 10,000 Gemini retrograde till Mercury, on retrograde not till Mercury, till March, and then going direct by June first week. This is a great period. First of all, you will see here things like honors that were owed to you, some type of a respect, some type of an honor that was supposed to be given to you early on, actually comes to you. You will see many people of high caliber actually comes to you for advice. Okay. On the other hand, Jupiter here, you will see somehow you will teach something till June. Starting January, you will teach something. Whether you teach something, because nowadays, there's no like, oh my God, how am I going to teach something? Like, for example, you know how to knit and sew. Well, guess what? You could be teaching that on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, right? So teaching is now, and the thing is, in a way, if you look at it, I don't want to make it into some predestined prediction, but it does become a remedy for a profession. Those who are in teaching profession, you will see, like somehow things accelerate in your life. But those who are not pursuing this, because look, Jupiter has been in Gemini this whole year. Okay, so let me know how things were. What were you teaching something at work, online? So this way I know how is it that this part of Jupiter that I am saying accurate. But what I'm also saying, when you do this with Jupiter being in Punarvasu Nakshatra, it begins to blossom your Jupiter. It begins to give good results to your Jupiter. Jupiter definitely, gives increase in your bank account savings. But Jupiter can also, and this is something you need to watch out for, is either this could be a blessing or can feel like a dreaded curse. Blessing as in Jupiter can give you access to loans that you never thought you could get. Okay. Like you have been wanting to start this business, you have enough funding, but you needed $50,000. You couldn't find it. But now suddenly you get some email from a big bank saying that we're helping out people who want this loan. It'll be a little bit of a higher interest rate, but you can get it. So guess what? You get it. So it's a blessing. Now, how can it become a curse? For somebody who's immature, somebody who does not know the headache of debt, like I have seen in my life, you will get credit card offers. I'm like, oh my God, credit card offers. I can take that cruise. Nowadays, I know youngsters are becoming much smarter. Like they were putting through credit card, buying Bitcoins and all that. But man, it can become a big curse. If you rack on debt, and especially nowadays, I'm seeing like youngsters wanting to do, what is it called? Margin call. Or no, it's not margin call. It's a one way of getting a stock. It's called something with future, right? It's future. I forgot, because I've done a consultation for someone who actually got into trouble with this. So that's the thing. Jupiter can bless that particular part, or it can be a curse. Depends on how you're using it. What is it that you are, What is it that you are going to be incurring with this particular Jupiter's transit? And on the other hand, you see Rahu is transiting the 6th house in Aquarius and Satabhishak Nakshatra. Now, on one end, Rahu's doing its thing. It's actually going to start bringing you you're going to go to many doctors, many healers to find some solution to your health issue. And naturally, you will know that Virgo people always, one way or the other, tit by tat, little by little, somehow some health issues always taking place. Okay. For Virgo, something is always taking place. Here, Rahu actually kind of provides the solution. And then what's happening is, Rahu's looking at Jupiter. Okay. And if, let's say, for those who have Saturn sitting in the 2nd house, okay, Saturn sitting in the 4th house or with Jupiter, Rahu's aspect on Jupiter becomes a shock therapy. It shocks you doing something where you suddenly change something or you try to go for some remedial thing. Okay, I actually dealt with this case just three weeks ago now, when I did a reading of someone who just last month did so much like weed, ganja. They fell down. Okay? They fell. And they suddenly got scared. The people around them, they got scared. Like, oh my God. I hope he doesn't overdose. And from that moment onwards, they're like cold turkey. They're like, that's it. I'm done. I'm never going to be doing these things again. Hopefully they don't. But you see how Rahu gives that angle on shock. Why? Because Rahu's looking at Jupiter. And if Jupiter somehow looks at the 6th Lord, it provides solution through some shock. But it's not everybody's going to be dealing with this. But see, Rahu's looking at Jupiter in the 10th house in Gemini, so one becomes very innovative. You will see such people right now will desire to be out on the stage. They will do a lot of Zoom meetings. They will go on to many like conferences. Even right now as I speak to you, it's happening. It's not like Jupiter is not in Gemini. It's not like January has its own energy because you're dealing with a new energy number of the year. Like from 9, we're going to 1. Okay? So from that Martian energy, which is very crude energy, we're going to a very more purifying energy, which is still hot, authoritative, but pure. So this is why we see that, okay, let's talk about from January onwards. But here, a person becomes very scientific, very innovative, very futuristic. Like a person gets results like this, solutions like this. Why? Because Rahu's in Satabhishak. Of 100 healers, they're able to heal things at work, meaning they find solutions at work through their intelligence. Once Jupiter enters the 11th house in Cancer, okay, here, usually you will see in one's family, somebody can be born. Usually like elder sibling may end up having a child. One themselves can have a child, but you will attend a lot of big celebrations. A lot of celebrations will be taking place. And these are like, most of the time will be non-commercial. Meaning you're not going to some work party. It's more like somebody's getting married, somebody's having a bar mitzvah, you're going to some Eid party, Diwali parties. It will be far more personal occasions that you're going to be dealing with than corporate. Corporate can happen if you consider your work, your family. Okay? But at the same time, this is also the period that Jupiter most definitely will begin to fulfill certain desires of yours. Jupiter in Cancer for Virgo fulfills desires, but also becomes the obstacle. You know how it becomes the obstacle? Whenever Jupiter enters the 11th house for Virgo, you will notice. So if you're 40s or 50s, you can see, go back 12 years. Your food habits got you in trouble. Okay? Such people will start overeating. Why do you think that Jupiter in Cancer will start overeating? Yes, Cancer is moon. Cancer is food. Jupiter is exalted, meaning Jupiter represents our liver and fat begins to expand. But that's for anywhere that Jupiter will be placed in Cancer. Like you will see, yeah, many people will start overeating. Like usually food can become so cheap that people just start eating. But the reason why I'm saying this for Jupiter, your happiness comes from food. Why? What is fourth from transiting Jupiter in the 11th house? Second house of food. While Jupiter is in Cancer, food, drinks, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but at the same time, it becomes a very big obstacle for you because 11th house is Bhadak. Now you must be thinking, well, no, 7th house is Bhadak for Virgo Ascendant, meaning obstruction, obstacle house. But guess what? 11th house is naturally Bhadak for everybody. This is one of those naughty rules where you have to look at the bottom surface foundation. You know, like in Lal Kitab, 11th house is a house of Shani, and then it's called the Pakka Ghar of Jupiter, and then somebody else has a house there. Or is it just Jupiter? It's Jupiter, Saturn, and there's one other planet. But see, I'm not a Lal Kitab expert, but I know these things are there. Like 12th house is Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu. So same way, it becomes that obstacle. You're too much of hopefulness becomes your obstacle. Meaning you're like, I'll find a job. I sent this one resume, guaranteed this company is gonna be calling me. They want me, they need me. I just know it. While somebody suggests you, hey, listen, send it to these 4 companies as well. You don't know, they actually could be getting rid of this department. But you're like so optimistic that optimism becomes that obstacle for you. So make sure your sense of discernment, your eye of questioning is there. That, oh, I'm becoming too optimistic about this thing. It could be troubling. Let me come back down to earth and become more realistic. Yes, Jupiter here can provide some sense of hopefulness towards people who might be getting married, people who want to engage or getting into a relationship. But like I said, with marriage, there's a specific calculation that takes place. Now, with Jupiter, having Saturn. Okay, so Jupiter is in the 11th house. Okay, and Saturn is in the 7th house in Pisces. So what is happening? Double transit of Jupiter and Saturn is in the 7th house. And this is why actually it's part of a very strong piece of puzzle that, something significant related to your marriage is going to take place. You can come close to marriage. Maybe you have that yoga right now. Oh, you're supposed to come close to marriage and it's going to back away. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that if your marriage is designed calculatively to happen in 2028, it's going to happen in 2028. Right now, you may get a little bit of hint, sense, and it's coming close, but it just doesn't happen because of these mathematical calculations that you do. And it's very simple, actually. Some are calculations, some are seeing like Uttarayan and Daksharayan planets, like Surya. All this will be discussed in my marriage course. But yeah, it becomes significant, and 7th house is what? Promotions. So it is a lot of Virgo people will find themselves finding some success. Even if you are going through a bad dasha and another person is going through a Raj Yoga dasha, both of you will find some significant achievement in career. There could be this high, your could be like this high, but it is going to be there. Okay. The only time you can have 0 result and the other person 100 results is when this one particular thing is present, which I don't want to say here. Okay, and there is no need to say it here. And at the same time, Jupiter is in the 11th house in Cancer. Now, where's Ketu? 12th house in Leo, right? So first of all, this is the period that a person is, if you try to go to a foreign place, foreign lands, it's not going to give you that green light so easily to go to foreign lands. Because the thing is, even right now, like I'm seeing how so many of you are like in your reading are talking about your visa, H-1B visa being expired in 2 months, and now you're having to go back. What will happen? What's going on? You know, and I'm telling people, look, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm not one of those babas who's gonna solve all your issues in 7 days due to some tantric siddhi and all that. No, I have to pray that you have certain yogas where you come back to US. But the thing is, if you're in US and you're worried about these things, remember, because you're in US, you have a yoga for foreign lands, foreign settlements, even long term. So what happens now is, if let's say US is now not allowing your H-1B visa, guess what? There's a whole world that is open out there. And I always tell people about this Chinese farmer story. I'm sure you've heard that story from Alan Watts, where his son's leg broke and he's like, maybe it's a bad thing. And the next day, the Chinese army is coming to pick up soldiers, and they don't pick up his son because he had a leg broken. He lost his horse. They're like, oh, you lost your horse. He's like, yeah, maybe that's a bad thing. But the next day or 2 days later, the horse comes back with 6 other wild horses. He made friends. So, you just never know in what calamity and what chaotic situation your life actually improves. Like, for example, in US, you were doing okay, but then suddenly you went back to India. But then 6 months to 8 months later, you found an opportunity in, Switzerland. And there you're making 3 times as much, and you have a much, much better quality of life than even US. And you're like, oh my God, this would not have happened if I didn't get my visa canceled. Can you imagine if I didn't get the visa canceled? I would still be there at that company. I would still be dealing with all these things. So again, never be upset about things that don't happen according to your wishes. Sometimes they are for the better for you. So don't be upset. But yeah, Ketu here restricts many people to like either going to foreign lands, visiting foreign lands even, whether you're US, Indian, or European citizen. Okay? Like there's just, and the thing is, this becomes, the Ketu in the 12th house becomes a time for someone to reflect a lot. It's going to make you reflect a lot. You will go to faraway places. Because remember, Ketu is always the antidote to Rahu. So Rahu is in the 6th house of work, and you're struggling at work, you're confused at work, there's 100 healers in your brain, what to do. So you take time off. But taking time off doesn't mean that, okay, you have to go to foreign lands. You can actually go to some isolated place, and you will see when you spend time in isolation with this Ketu in the 12th house, your intelligence rises. Now, why am I using the word intelligence with this Ketu and not any other Ketu 12th house transit? Because it's in the sign of Leo. Leo is the original 5th house, which is carrying the intelligence. And Jupiter, the Karka of Prana and Jiva, is moving towards Ketu. Here for you, spiritual practices are the most important go watch all of my ascendants that I've made. See if I said anything what I'm saying here for Virgo. That Virgo people must focus on sadhana. Sadhanas literally can align you with your marriage, home, relationship, even career. Okay? And the thing is, with Jupiter, when it meets with Ketu, usually a person will naturally feel introvert, secluded, hermit-like, isolated. By August, September of next year, you'll start feeling it. Because Jupiter is going to enter in Leo for about a month, right? That's when it's going to be very, very close to Ketu as well. So here a person, retracts into themselves for sure for that particular month. And then Jupiter also is meeting Ketu. So here you will see many a times a person will be giving things away a lot. You will start cleaning things out from your home. Donating things, cleaning things, giving away things. Like spring cleaning, Virgo people will be getting rid of a lot of trash, which will actually ease your expenses. All the clutter that you have in your home. Ketu is now in the 12th house, right? Trine from the 4th house. It's saying cut things from your home. Otherwise, I'll have to cut some of your investments and expenses. That's what it's going to do. And Saturn naturally in the 7th house obviously shows professional expenses come upon the spouse. Spouse may actually get some foreign opportunities in their life. And this is also the period, well, this is actually a very important period for childbirth. Those who are married or looking to have children, after June, is going to be a very, very strong period for you to conceive children and have children. Okay. But also you will see some of the efforts of your children will be delayed. So whatever, let's say your children are teen in their 20s and they're trying to put effort, whatever they're trying to get out of their efforts will be delayed. It's not going to be denied, it'll be delayed. So tell them not to get frustrated. Because of your chart, we can see this part easily. Okay. So anyway, guys, this is my analysis up for Virgo 2026 prediction. Again, if you need any actual reading of transit, you can go to chaosastrology.com under shop section where we can actually see your planets and see what they're going to be doing. And also, remember my marriage course is now active where I'm going to be uploading videos once a week, not like 3-4 times a day that I've 3-4 times a week that I've done previously, because I'm more relaxed. When it's just once a week, I'm like, I gather a lot more information in that one video. All right. So anyway, see you later. Bye-bye.